Alright guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, we are going to be taking a look at every single model airplane I own and or have built, like these ones. So, let's start over here. So first, we have my wooden F-35 Lightning, which I got at an air show in Pueblo at a Thunderbirds air show. And then, we have an MD, a 1/200 scale MD-90. American Airlines, which I got for my birthday a few years ago. You can find one on Gemini Jets. Pretty much all of these you can find on Gemini Jets or on, I don't know. This is my 1/200 scale C-17 Globemaster, which I got for Christmas probably 4 years ago. Now we have my 1/200 scale United Airlines 787. Which I also got for, I also got for my birthday a few years ago. For my parents, by the way. And then we got my 1/200 scale A380. I don't know how to say that, but that airline was actually bought by Tokyo Airlines, and this thing is pretty heavy. Probably use it as a weapon if you want. I got this for Christmas from my grandpa about 2 or 3 years ago. And most of these 200 scale planes, so all of these and a few of these here, you don't see in my videos because they're not supposed to be at my airport because they're not the right scale. Every once in a while, maybe I'll show them though. Now we have my 1/200 scale, Fat Albert C-130 for the Blue Angels. My dad got this for me on Facebook Marketplace, so I'm not too sure where you can find it. Now I got my 1/200 scale C-130. My sister got this for me, I believe for Christmas, like 5 years ago. Now we got my 1/400 scale Air Force One, which my parents got me for Christmas about 2 years ago. You can also find it on Gemini Jets. Now we have an E-2 Hawkeye, which my dad got me on Facebook Marketplace about a year ago. The big disc is a radar because it's a radar plane on a carrier. Now we have one of my favorite planes or helicopters, whichever one you think it is, the V-22 Osprey, the Marine Corps one. It's kind of broken, the engines fall off and stuff, but you know, it's fine. I like to play with it every once in a while. Now we have my 1/300 scale B-52-D, which you can find one almost exactly like this one at the Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs. It's like on like the pillars, which my dad also got me on Facebook Marketplace a few years ago. Now we have my believe it's 1/152 scale F-15 Lightning. I don't know, or not F-15 Lightning, F-15 Eagle, sorry. I don't know what happened to the left or the right vertical stabilizer, but who knows. Okay, now we have my 1/400 scale Airbus Beluga. This one I bought myself about a year ago, and I think my mom bought me this, or maybe I got it about a year ago. Then we have my 1/144 scale F-22 Raptor, which my dad also got me on Facebook Marketplace. And then this one he also got me on Facebook Marketplace is a 1/144 scale FA-18, or maybe it's just an F-18, I don't know. Wildcats Squadron. Then we have the F-4 Phantom stationed on the USS Coral Seas. We can see right there, it's Navy, which I bought about a year ago. And if Jonathan, if you're watching this video, you remember when I got that because you were at my house and we started playing with it. I don't know if you remember that. Alright, anyways, he's probably not watching this video. But now we have my 1/144 scale, or maybe it's 1/150 scale, I'm not too sure, F-16. My dad got me on Facebook Marketplace. Very nice Arctic camo, beautiful. Now we're gonna come back here. We got my 1/400 scale and 225, which I got on Amazon, or I think my mom got me it on Amazon a few years ago, because my other one, I messed up a paint job on it, so it looked horrible. This one's not die cast though, but you can find it on Amazon. I think it's like Darren or something. And then this one you can also find on Gemini Jets. My grandpa got it for me, or no, this wasn't on Gemini Jets. It was like, I don't remember what it was, but it was some Chinese company. Of course, Chinese. My 1/400 scale, a Etihad A380. Very nice. One of my favorites. Now, for my two favorite planes in my collection, or actually some of my favorites, is my C5 Globemaster, which my parents got me for Christmas a few years ago. Same with this one, because I got two. Now we have my 1/400 scale Lufthansa 747-B, which my grandpa got me a few years ago. When I first actually started this airport, I think I was still making the buildings for it, and I was still painting it and everything. He got it for me, so it's the most original plane here. And then we got my Air China Cargo 747 Interactive Series. So the Interactive Series, I have the parts right here for it. So we have the closed nose attachment right there, which I take this off, put it on, and then the nose is closed. And then we also have bay door attachments too, but I don't really feel like getting into all that right now. And now we have my, I think it's Edelweiss is how you say it, A350, which I believe my grandpa got me about a year or two ago with the flaps down. You can also find this on Gemini Jets. Now, which my grandpa also got me, my A340 Etihad, the extended version, so I believe it should be the Dash 600, the F1 livery. Let you see that. It's very nice. And then we have my 1/400 scale B-52 Honors livery, which my grandpa got me about a year ago. We had to wait like 8 months for it to get here because it was on back order. And then we have a B-52 that my parents got me for Christmas a few years ago. Then they also got me this one for Christmas a few years ago, which the wing is broken, so you've never seen this one in my videos because I don't use it, because the wing on it's broken. Same with this KC-135. You also don't see it in my videos because the engine's broken, and I don't really have a spot for it at my airport, but it's a mid-air refueler. And then we have my 757 Trump private jet. By far one of my favorites. I bought it a few years ago for like $60, and we have the box right here. Very nice box. And now we have our United 737, which I'm sure you've flown on it before if you've ever flown on a plane. Now we have my Alaska Airlines, I think it's United livery or something like that, what we see on the side. It's kind of hard to see. It says there is always time, or the time is always right to do. I can't really read that. Anyway, yeah, there's a bunch of people on it. My grandpa also got me that. Oh, this one my grandpa got me a few years ago. I got that for Christmas a few years ago. This my grandpa got me along with this one a few years ago when I first started all of this. And then my grandpa also got me this one in the same batch of planes. It's a Qantas Link. You guys, this is at my airport. You might have seen it in the background, but I never actually use it because the front nose gear kind of collapsed on itself one day, so I stopped using it. And I'm not sure what kind of plane it is. I think it's an A319. I could look at the box. It's right here. Oh, an A220. I was pretty close. And then I have an F4U Corsair. One of my favorite planes. Not like the model one, but just in general. One of my favorite planes. I think they're pretty cool, even though they're pretty much obsolete nowadays. My dad got me this on Facebook Marketplace. And then my grandpa got me these three 1/400 scale 3D printed helicopters, which I'm sure you've seen in the background of my video. They're pretty hard it's pretty hard to not miss them because they're pretty much in every video. Now that's all we just went over. Now we still have a few planes left, about 3. We actually have 6 because I'll show you guys the ones on my ceiling. So this is an F4U. It's not an F4U Corsair, it's an F5 something, but it's basically this one, just with different engine, different propeller. And I built this myself about a year ago. Came in one of those model kits that you can buy at like Hobby Town. Not Hobby Lobby, Hobby Town. They sell great models. Put the decals on. They're starting to come off now. Sorry about the slight interruption. I am missing a missile on this. As you can see on the bottom, there's 2 right there, 3 right there. It's on my shelf. It just fell off. I haven't had time to put it back together. You can't quite see it, but I have a lot of detail in that engine. It's kind of hard to see, but I put a lot into that engine. It took me like a week to get it nice. And I'm missing a decal on the propeller right there, but that's okay. Flipping it back over, we have 2 bombs right there. I did a lot of detailing in the gear bay. You can tell, you can see the wires and like the weathering and stuff. That took me a while to do. Yeah, I spray painted this with Tamiya navy blue paint, I think is what it was. And you can see I even put the bolts on the engine, the engine cover, whatever it's called. I thought it would look cool, but the bolts did not work the rest of the way. So I just typically keep this on my shelf. You guys don't see it. I just keep it right here. Ignore the mess in my room. Then we have this Blackhawk that my grandpa got me at Hobby Town probably about 5 years ago. It's not in any of my videos because I typically keep it right there, but I play with it every once in a while. And then we have this, I believe it's a 140 scale SR-71 Blackbird, which I also built myself. My sister got it from my dad, and my dad let me build it. It was kind of a team effort. It was the first thing I've ever airbrushed by myself. And I also got this like putty that I put in between the cracks so that way they're not visible, and it actually turned out really well. Yeah, this one took me a while, and these decals right here are all one piece. They took me forever to put on. And I got this special like silver paint to put on there, which was a very good idea. The cockpit is super detailed. You just can't really see inside of it, unfortunately. I mean, I'll see if I could try to get a view in there. No, not really. You can kind of see it, but yeah, very detailed cockpit. So was that F4U Corsair I just showed you. And this used to be hanging up on my ceiling right there, but I took it down because it started to kind of, you know, not hang anymore. Now we have the A10 Warthog on my ceiling, or the A10 Thunderbolt 2-seater, which my dad let me build, which was also his. He gave it to me. Second plane I've ever airbrushed, I believe. I'd say I did a pretty good job on that Arctic camo. And then we got the gear bay and stuff. Got all those missiles. They took me forever to put on because I had to actually hold them on there till they dried, which took a while because for some reason it just didn't click on when I glue it. And then we could see the GAU 8 Avenger machine gun on the front, which it took me a while to get the right color for. I mixed a bunch of colors like green, red, yellow. I mixed tons of colors to make that. And then we have a missile hanging on my ceiling with a little trail behind it, aiming at the A10, coming from this Desert Camo F-15, which technically shouldn't be fighting each other, but I thought it'd be cool. This one was pretty simple for me to build. It didn't really take too much effort or time. There's the cockpit right there, but when I was building it, the cockpit glass didn't stay on for some reason. It kept on popping off. And then I have those missiles glued on. You can see the missile that's not on there right there, because that's on my ceiling over here. Take a look at this missile. Nothing really too special about it. And no, that's not P on there or anything. It's the color that the missiles actually are. Search up F-15 shooting missiles. It's yellow, not red. Now we have my B-52 on my ceiling. Oh, and by the way, all of them on my ceiling I built myself. My dad got this for me for Christmas, I believe. And I'd say I did a pretty good airbrushing job on it. I gave it the World War II look, which kind of regret doing. I wish I made it more modern, but that's okay. Then we got the white underbelly to blend in with the sky, the top camo to blend in with the ground. We got a bunch of missiles right there on the sides. All 8 engines are on here, including fuel tanks on the sides. The putty job on the bottom of this kind of made the cracks more visible. And while I was building this, it took me about 2 days to mount the wings because for some reason the dimensions weren't right. So they didn't really click, or not click on, but they didn't really go inside the wing mount very well. The wing box, if you want to call it that. And this took me hours to paint. I put tons of detail into this cockpit, even though you can't see it. The cockpit goes back to about here. Goes all the way back. I painted things that is impossible to see from the outside, but you know, that's okay. Just added detail. Here's the tail of the aircraft. I'm not sure why I put that on there, but that's just what came in the box, essentially. And then we got the gunner and the radars on the back. So yeah, it's pretty nice, just, you know, chilling in my room right next to the Concorde.